Woo! We are live. What is going on, everybody? Hopefully you can hear me okay. We're messing around with a new microphone, so this should be good. You should be able to hear me just fine. We'll get a little closer just in case, but I don't think you want to see me that close. We are going to be doing a Slaanesh Army Masterclass, basically a deep dive into the Slaanesh demons. We will explore a little bit of maybe allies later on, especially if the Chaos Knight Codex comes out while we're doing this. The plan is to upload a ton of Slaanesh demon content for the month of July, which is my birth month. Yay! And Slaanesh is my favorite chaos god. So for the next, this is going to go up like June 30th, but till about July 30th on my birthday, July 31st, day after my birthday, hopefully we'll have a lot of Slaanesh videos. So if you're into Slaanesh and you see this, subscribe. And if you're interested in trying to make this army work, I'm interested in trying to make this army work. We're going to explore some kind of thematic army list. We're going to explore something I think is like some powerful combos, psychic spells, things we don't like, all of that. I have picked up all of the new kits. I got the Keeper. I'm going to build this little lady or fella. Shalaxi. No, that's not Shalaxi, Hexbane, Hellbane, right? Whatever. We're going to build that one. It's very, very cool looking. I don't know if it's that good. We'll get to that, right? We'll explore that. I don't think either of these are that good, but I have the creature model-wise beautiful. Rules-wise, we'll see. Very fragile. But I have the creature caster keeper model, the big pincer demon. So that will be my basic keeper, and then I'll do the special character just in case we want to check that one out. If you haven't yet picked up this little guy, he's a little bit of a pain in the butt to build, at least for me, because I hate building. I love painting, but I hate building. So this guy here, the contorted epitome, I got him built. And the plan, basically, this kind of started as a fun save money project. I don't know what to call that. Basically, I have a ton of models, and I need to get some of them painted because I have literally armies of unpainted models. So, and these new AdMech tanks are coming out. I have an AdMech army. It's my favorite army in 40k. And at least currently that I play, and I have a fully painted AdMech army. So I wanted to buy these new tanks, and I bought all this Slaanesh stuff when it came out. I bought all this other stuff when it came out. There's a new Repulsor tank coming out, and I wanted to buy that as well for my Space Marine army, my Death Watch, or whatever. So basically, I gave myself a little challenge that I'm going to paint 40 Seekers of Slaanesh and this guy before I buy any more models. So hopefully we stay true to that, and we'll have 40 new Slaanesh demons painted. We'll have a character painted, and assuming at the end of all that, we'll work on the Keeper, either the GW one, the Creature Caster one, or this guy, this little duo. They are just awesome. If you're playing Slaanesh demons, auto include every single time. If you're just playing demons in general or chaos in general, you might want to include this guy. He is a beast, like super powerful rules, pretty decent cost. It's a character that can't be targeted, and if I remember correctly, it's not infantry, so the Vindicare Assassin doesn't auto kill it, basically. So very strong, super amount of attacks, super damaging against big things and hordes. Amazing model. So we're going to get to work on that. And that's about it, right? So this is just an introduction. We are exploring kind of the army overview. We're in this video, which is going to be trying to make an all Slaanesh demon mono god work. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to feel a lot like If you go first, the game goes very well for you. And if you go second, the game goes very poorly for you. And a lot of armies are actually like that. They're just shooting armies. So it feels like if they go second, they still shoot back some, and they feel like they didn't get totally blown out of the water first turn. And this depends a lot on your terrain, right? If you have enough line of sight blocking terrain. But with this type of army, which is going to be almost exclusively melee, like basically an all melee army, although we will explore the idea of soul grinders and then in the future possibly allies. But basically it runs across the board and kills things and smites things to death or tries to psychic power things to death. But my general idea of the army I'm going to be building and painting is originally I wanted to do like 60 Seekers of Slaanesh, which would be 3 max size units, but it comes out to be like 975 points, which I think is going to fully be a first turn type of army. Go first, possibly win, go second, and might just be decimated because although they are 2 wounds each, they are only toughness 3. So even small arm fire is going to put a lot of wounds on them, and it's half your army, right? I don't think anybody's going to kill them all, but they're going to put some hurt on them, and I don't think it's the right way to go. So I'm going to do 40. I'm going to paint 40. I want to make that work. I also like the idea that if I have 40 painted, or maybe 45, because I could do 3 units of 15 or somewhere around there. But if I have at least 30, I could do 3 units of 10, 40, 2 units of 20, blah, blah, blah. So the basic idea of the army I'm constructing will be somewhat thematic because it is a Slaanesh demon army. And so it would be somewhat fluffy. It's mono god. You can easily determine what models I'm going to take because they're all the Slaanesh demons. So there's only a few. We're going to take them. And then we're going to get kind of deep dive into some of the units that we're going to see how we can fit them in, how I think we might be able to use them, what's going on with the fiends of Slaanesh. Are they valuable? What's going on with the chariots, right? The exalted chariot, the secret chariot, the hellflayer. All of those are good questions. We're going to explore that. They don't pop into my mind right away. I think the fiends have some solid play. They have no retreat type rule. Basically, if you're fighting them, you're stuck and you either fight to the death until you die or they die. So that is pretty darn powerful, because if you can put a Fiend of Slaanesh into a Leman Russ or something, you're basically trading their tank for the rest of the game for your one Seeker. And eventually you'll win that fight, but you'll never lose it unless they charge in something, of course. But my general overview idea of the army is it's going to be very fast. You're going to try and put absolutely as many models into combat in the first turn as you possibly can. The second turn, if you take, say, a keeper, you're going to deep strike that thing in, most likely, because it's probably going to die. It's too big and too fragile to hide, and I think it's going to just take too much punishment from anti-tank items or weapons. Now, if the Chaos Knight Codex comes out, I have a feeling they're going to be very, very strong, and a hand-to-hand combat Slaanesh demon army plus, say, some Chaos Knight armigers, or maybe a Valiant, Castellan, a Chaos Knight Castellan, whatever, right? They're going to be, those are going to be your opponent's main target, right? They might not shoot your keeper right off the top. So maybe that's the way to do it. We'll also explore the idea of having 4 keepers of secrets. That would be 1 Shalaxi Hex Hellbane and 3 keepers. So 4 keepers of secrets. It's going to be 3, 6, probably 1,100 points around there. Maybe a little less than 1,100. It'll be less than 1,100, but because they're all less than 300. But it's going to be interesting, right? We'll see if that works. I can field that army if we use old metal keepers to try it out in game. I'm going to hopefully be trying to get some more games of 40k in, and we're going to hopefully test this out once we get some models painted up. If I get those 40 Seekers painted up, I have enough old metal ones that I can start playing with the army. And once I get these characters kind of built and primed and whatnot, we could start trying this out. There's a lot of ITC guys down at the local game store who are really into the ITC and do very well. So we could try them out, against some of those guys, see how it fares. I think it's going to be punished severely if you play in a small group with your friends, which oftentimes I play mostly with my friends. And if I come at them with 60 or 40 Seekers of Slaanesh, the first time we play, I basically will have to not tell them what I'm bringing, and maybe tell them I'm bringing AdMech until we start playing, and then surprise them that I don't have AdMech, and just try to get the one up on them because I surprised them, and hopefully they brought a bunch of anti-tank guns that just don't work against Demonette hordes. But the second time we play, it is going to be brutal, and they are going to crush me because, say, my buddy that plays iGuard, he has no shortage of small arm fire, and he could easily load up on as many Punisher Leman Russes as he wants. And my buddies that play Necrons, they could take maximum amounts of, Immortals and Ghost Arcs and anything else that puts out a huge volume of fire. And, a buddy that plays Space Marines, he could load up on heavy bolters or whatever, assault cannons. So there's a lot of play against this army, but in a tournament environment, which would be interesting, is nobody's going to be building necessarily for this. Nobody's going to expect it, and it's going to shock some people. Now, if it's any good, we don't know yet because, we haven't played it yet. I have played demon armies in the past with no shooting, and it feels very weak. So the only ones I feel that might be interesting are the Slaanesh, and that's really going hard on Seekers of Slaanesh because they have very, very high chance of hitting multiple units first turn unless your opponent deploys way back, and even then you still might get them because they basically move 16 inches plus 3d6. All of those dice can be rerolled through various means. They reroll charges, they have strategy, you can reroll your run roll with a command point or whatever. So that'd be 16 plus 3d6, which I think would be an average about 10. So, but that's not including rerolls. So an average of 10, about averaging 26 inches without rerolls. So you're probably looking close to a 30-inch move and charge. Pretty strong. If you had all those Seekers hit you in the first turn, you're basically probably pinned into your deployment zone for a turn at least. If you can kill them all, that'd be amazing. They have the ability, they have 4 attacks apiece. They're basically going to shred anybody on foot. They'll probably put some wounds in on vehicles, but probably not break them down completely on the first turn. So the general overview of the army I'm going to try and build, and we're going to talk about everything Slaanesh for a lot of videos, and we'll try to, we'll be putting other videos up too that are just, all around, just kind of my general content, talking about other things, talking about painting. Right now we're using the Blue Yeti microphone I picked up and the Logitech webcam instead of the cell phone, but we'll be kind of bouncing back and forth. But so we're going to try a super fast kind of horde army, a lot of wounds, a lot of hand-to-hand ability, low survivability, which is kind of scary, and basically no shooting until maybe that Chaos Knight Codex comes out. Although there is, I don't own the book, unfortunately, but the Chaos Space Marines, I think there's some play with some allies there. If you took just a whole bunch of Seekers of Slaanesh and then allied in a whole bunch of, say, Havoc squads with the Marcus Slaanesh to double shoot, or Obliterators, or, Renegade Knights with double Gatling guns, whatever, some kind of large volume of fire shooting, or at least some anti-tank guns, or preferably some large volume of fire 2 damage guns maybe, or 3 damage guns to put some serious wounds out while the Slaanesh demons chew everything away, right, with their claws. And that is hopefully going to be pretty strong. We'll see how that turns out. The horde basically is, and this army is going to advance very, very quickly, and we're going to use abilities like and tactics of wrapping units with our models to not let them fall out of combat. We have things like the fiends that make it so you can't fall out of combat. And this little guy here also makes it so you can't fall out of combat very easily. You need to make a leadership test on 3 die 6. So you're likely to fail. You can also lower people's leadership in this army. And so if you charge 40 Seekers of Slaanesh into your opponent, decimating all their infantry, tying up some vehicles so they can't get out of combat, you're safe from their shooting, or using this model or something like that, a fiend, to prevent them from retreating or falling back, they're stuck. And it's too many models and too many wounds, and they're too fast, and they are going to probably shred everything that they touch. Now, they also have a psychic ability, which lets them fight in your psychic phase, which is going to pair well with them opponents not being able to fall back, because if they don't fall back, they will be in combat with you. And if they're in combat with you in your psychic phase, then you can fight them with a spell. So that's pretty cool. And that little mirror guy, he gets +1 to a cast, and +1 to dispel. So he's a pretty strong psyker. I was playing around with giving him the Warlord trait of +3 movement, making it move 15 to increase the chances of the no fallback aura reaching the opponent first turn. But I think you still are going to need a 4+ on your advance roll, assuming their models are right on the line. So it's pretty unlikely, but it might be worth trying for, or you just try to maximum chance wrap up as many units as you can, because 30 or a unit of 20 Seekers is 40 wounds with a 5+ invuln, and on a roll of a 1 on morale, you get D3 models back instead of any running away. So there's a good chance, even if you tie up multiple units, unless they are some real hard hitters, like a big blob of, say, maybe Gene Stealers or Corn Berserkers, which you're never going to see, or Orcs, that's going to be the one that's really powerful. If you tie up too many Orcs, they'll probably beat you to death. But they are going to chew through Orcs. And they have, 4 attacks a model. The way the bases on those models are and the way the rules are with auras, you're going to daisy chain just a few models back to hit all your heroes in the center of the board. And you can have things like -1 attack aura, -1 to be hit, +1 to your invuln save. You can, and possibly the ability that they can't fall back from you, which is going to be huge. Like, your opponent's going to be so sad if one Space Marine doesn't die, doesn't run away, and then fails his leadership test and can't fall back and ties up that whole unit, and now all their firearms and whatever can't be fired at them. Big play there, right? You're going to just tie up their whole army. Some weaknesses I can see right off the top would be the flyer list. There's a lot of Eldar flyer list, and you can mess around with them, and then be some demon princes, but it's going to be hard to squeeze that many in if you're taking all the new characters. And so the flyer list, though, one thing I could see a possibility with the flyers is you might be able to actually boots on the ground them, because the Seekers and stuff are so fast. You can just run right through the battlefield and hopefully capture all the characters and just chew them up. And hopefully you can do that before the flyers kill you. So that could be super powerful. Against Chaos Knights, I think that would be or not Chaos Knights, well, probably Chaos Knights in the future, but against Knights, I could see that being a problem. Yeah, you can -1 attack them, but the still, it's still going to be like 5 or whatever, 12 kicks from a Knight Gallon or whatever, 9 kicks. They're going to do some killing. Their Overwatch is probably good. A Castellan, you're not going to be worried about. The iGuard Vigilist attachment with the stratagem to like half your movement, devastating. They're going to just, if they go first, they're going to put all their firepower into one unit and half the other unit's movement. And that's basically game over probably if you spent too many points on, those models, especially because you're banking on the only way to not be shot too much is kind of tying things up in combat. Tyranids suffer from this a bit, especially the big Gene Stealer lists. They really rely heavily on tying units up in combat, tying tanks up, wrapping them so they can't escape, and surviving that way because you're just not tough enough. And the game is very deadly. So hopefully you enjoy this video and you're going to enjoy the Slaanesh Masterclass. We are going to be talking about Slaanesh a lot, excessively a lot of Slaanesh talk. And I'm going to be just trying to put out as many videos as I can on Slaanesh. And hopefully we attract some new subs that are interested in 40k demons. And hopefully we give you some valuable information. We're going to be talking about painting and all that still too. So please stick around, hit subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys probably soon. And it's going to be awesome.